The Texans beat the Jets 29-22. The Texans get their 10th win of the season and their first 10-win season under Bill O'Brien. Their first 10-win season or double-digit win season since 2012. And with some help tomorrow, the Texans could possibly clinch a playoff spot and could even clinch the division. So, they're not done yet. They still have to keep on winning. But again, 10 wins, that's good. But they didn't play good. So, if you're one of those people that hate when someone criticizes the Texans, you just cannot take criticism, this probably isn't the video for you. So, that's why I'm going to talk about the good stuff first. And after I'm done talking about the good stuff, I'm going to get into how it really is. The realistic stuff. I'm not being negative. I'm just being realistic stuff. Okay, so, the good stuff. DeAndre Hopkins, the guy is a monster. Best wide receiver in the league, hands down. At this point, it's not even a debate, man. He's just number one. It goes D-Hop at 1, and then there's a huge gap. And then there's Michael Thomas at 2, and then everyone else. Like, seriously, I don't want to see Julio Jones' name or Antonio Brown's name thrown with DeAndre Hopkins. Because guess what? They're not as good as DeAndre Hopkins. And I don't ever want to see people say, maybe it's time to start putting in DeAndre Hopkins in the same conversation as Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Or DeAndre Hopkins should be in everyone's top 3 list of wide receivers. Hell no. DeAndre Hopkins should be at the top of your list of wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins should be in the conversation by himself as the top wide receiver in the NFL. Because he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. And it's not close. It's really not close. He can beat you in so many different ways. It's just because he plays for Houston, honestly. If he was elsewhere, Pittsburgh, he would be getting talked like if he was a god. He is one, but people just don't respect him like that for whatever reason. It's quite annoying. They need to start showing him some more respect because he is the best wide receiver in the league. And again, it's not close. Another good thing. J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt today had a vintage J.J. Watt performance. That's all I'll say before I start throwing out negative stuff. Kaimi Fairbairn kicked some really good field goals. Deshaun Watson was clutch when he needed to be. As far as the positive stuff, the good stuff, that's all I really got. So if you're one of those people that just want to hear the positive stuff, the good stuff, the no negativity stuff, you could click off the video now and have a good day. But if you're a true fan, if you're someone that can take constructive criticism, then you could keep on watching. Now let's start how it really is. Start with Deshaun Watson. Numbers look nice. He was clutch. When it mattered most, he put up the points on the board. But again, man, same thing we saw last week. He was holding on to the ball way too damn long. Seriously, I understand he's still young, but at this point, it's just frustrating to see him make the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over. Because those mistakes didn't really start with the Colts. The Colts just stopped our run game, and so did the Jets. But those mistakes that happened pretty early on, they happened against New England, Tennessee. He was just holding on to the ball way too long, and for whatever reason, he's back to that. I guess maybe Deshaun Watson is finally fully healthy, so he thinks he can hold on to the ball a crazy amount of time and then, just try to make a play. And I understand he's trying to make a play, but man, in the NFL, you gotta understand when the play is over. Lucky for us, Deshaun Watson has that it factor, that clutch factor, and he was able to overcome all that at the end of the game and have the game-winning drive, but Deshaun Watson has to analyze the game better pre-snap and see the blitz. And he did it in one play too, man. They blitzed him, and he hit DeAndre Carter, and he went for like 50 yards. That's what you got to do. You got to see it pre-snap, know what you're going to do, see where the blitz is coming. Your guy's going to be open right there. You know, take the quick completion and watch and see if he gets some yards after catch. And in that occasion, Carter did. O-line, it was up and down in the pass game. Most of the sacks, I'd say, were straight up Deshaun Watson holding on to the ball too long. In the run game, yikes. No rushing lanes for Alfred Blue. And that brings us to Alfred Blue because Lamar Miller did go out pretty soon. Alfred Blue didn't do anything. You know, not really a surprise, honestly. He had a terrible game. Wide receivers, D-Hop was D-Hop. No complaints about D-Hop. I mean, the man, literally, he said in the first play of the game, he rolled up his ankle pretty bad. And this man went out there and balled out more than any other player on this team, not named J.J. Watt. Literally. This guy had a bum ankle and was over there putting his team on his back. Him and JJ and Watson at the end and Fairbairn were the only players that really put this team on their back because everyone else, it looked like they didn't even want it, dude. Seriously. It wasn't until late in the game, until D-Hop got that game-winning catch, that this defense finally really started playing. Literally. JJ, D-Hop, Deshaun, to some extent, and Fairbairn, those four players carried this team. They put their team on their back. And the fact that, you know, most of these players, and I'll say most because there were some other players that did do their job, that did contribute. Like Demaryius Thomas, for example. He had like, 6 receptions for 60 yards? You know, that's a good contribution from your number 2 receiver, so you can't really say much about him. But other players, I'm looking at the defense specifically. And, you know, it's kind of hard to blame the defensive players when your defensive coordinator, Romeo Crennel, I'm looking at you, buddy. I know you're a legendary coach. But Romeo Crennel let Sam Darnold, as good as he looked tonight, guys, he's not a good quarterback. He has played terrible in every other game he's played all season. He is not good. But against the Texans, he was amazing. He looked like a star. And these commentators, the way they were talking about these Jets, you would think they were an 11-3 team. But they're not. The Jets suck. The Jets suck. And this game shouldn't have even been close to begin with. And it all starts with Romeo Crennel. He's just straight up not putting his players in position to succeed. A good coach puts his players in position to succeed. Romeo Crennel has not. Literally, the stuff you saw all this game from the very start down to the last 2 drives is the same thing Romeo Crennel was doing against Andrew Luck. If Romeo Crennel adjusts sooner and isn't so stubborn with his decisions, his bad decisions, this Texans team, guess what? Right now, they're 11-3. Right now, they're tied for first place in the AFC. But no, he's stubborn. And what do I mean by that? You know, let's start off with, I don't know, not playing your best corner. Aaron Colvin is probably your best corner. You can make an argument for J-Joe, but you can also make a very good argument for Aaron Colvin. Aaron Colvin is a very good corner. Sharice Wright is a very bad corner. Literally, the way he got beat today for a touchdown by the Jets was the same way he got beat for a touchdown by the Colts. And guess what? if you go back a few weeks before that, Shareece Wright got beat the same way again. Shareece Wright, he's not a good corner. He might be serviceable against the Josh Allens of the world, but against better quarterbacks, and again, Sam Darnold isn't even that good. That's how bad a quarterback can beat Shareece Wright, because that's how bad he is. Colvin is leagues better than Shareece Wright. And the second Colvin gets thrown in there, guess what happens? The Texans get 2 stops on the Jets when they couldn't stop the Jets all game. You know, like, that's crazy, isn't it? But wait, there's more. Whitney Merciless, all game, most of the game actually, most of the Colts game, he was dropping back into coverage. And guess what? Andrew Luck was throwing the ball right at his zone. Sam Darnold throwing the ball right at his zone. You wonder why? Because Whitney Merciless ain't a coverage linebacker. It's really not that hard to comprehend. I don't know what the hell Romeo Crennel was doing, but to me the solution was pretty obvious. And if you show up to my live streams, you know what I'm talking about. All week I was saying Romeo Crennel has to put J.J. Watt on the inside and let Clowney and Merciless rush from the edge because they're edge rushers. J.J., yes, he's an edge rusher, but J.J. out of those 3 is the only one that can play inside as well, line up inside. And guess what? On the last 2 drives, guess what happened? They put J.J. Watt inside, let Merciless and Clowney rush from the outsides, and what happens? Oh, that's right, you guessed it. Instant pressure. Instant pressure. Literally. All you had to do was bench the bump Shareece Wright for your best corner and put JJ inside and put Merciless back on the outside in a place where he's been successful in the past. Literally, Crennel is so stubborn. It's so dumb. Like, that's all you gotta do. If you do that from the start, guess what? We beat the Colts last week. These Jets wouldn't have even been in this game. These Jets shouldn't have been in this game. Literally, go take a look at the Jets roster. They have no talent besides Jamal Adams and Leonard Williams. These guys have no talent. This should not have been a 7-point game. This should have been a blowout. A blowout of all sorts of proportions from the get-go. From the get-go. And you saw J.J. Watt pissed on the sidelines. It's clear why he was pissed. Because he knew. He's been in this situation in the past. What situation? Look. If you go back to 2011, J.J. Watt, when he was a rookie, the Texans were 10-3 in position to secure everything. All you got to do is win. At that point, I think it was 2 games. 2 out of the last 3 games. They lost them all. Number 3 seed. 2012, Texans 11-1. All you got to do is win 2 out of the last 4 to secure a first-round bye. What happens? The Texans go 1-3 in December. And they don't get anything. End up as the number 3 seed. J.J. Watt has been in this position before. That's why he was pissed. He doesn't want that to happen again. The Texans today, they were playing as if they had already a playoff spot clinched. But they don't. They got to get better. They got to keep getting better. Because that performance today was unacceptable. Unacceptable. If Sam Darnold did that to you, imagine what Patrick Mahomes is going to do to you. Seriously. And I am one of the believers that these Texans are not going to get bounced out of the playoffs easily. But the way they play today, these guys are getting bounced out immediately. So they got to do better. They got to improve, man. They got to get better. There's no excuse for this bad play. Honestly, Cornell, hopefully he stops being so damn stubborn and, fixes his defense. But, yeah, that's all I really have for you guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the support. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.